It's been a whirlwind the last couple of weeks. I have to tell you, I'm chilling here waiting for the videographer. He forgot some batteries for the microphone. We're getting ready to shoot another video for a condo that we're putting on the market. If you can look around, you might be able to tell which one it is just by looking at that building. But one thing I want to continue to stress and pound into people as long as the market's like this. I was at a pricing is extremely important. I see over and over a mistake being made where sellers and even agents, inexperienced agents and even experienced real estate agents are having a really hard time pricing real estate for sale because well, I'll give you a couple examples. It's just really challenging to figure out just how high something will go for. And I think in my opinion, there's a lot of money that's being left on the table. What's up, David? We've been talking about this exact same thing. It's really hard to find a top end of where to price some things. I'll give you a couple examples. I was in a meeting yesterday. Our company had its spring kind of kickoff sales meeting, and we had agents in, top producing agents from all over the country. Maryland, Charlotte, Raleigh, St. Louis were all there. Everybody in the room. This is a company that did $2.1 billion in sales last year. Everyone in the room, all these agents from across the country are all talking about the same thing, that it's hard. There's so much demand and it's just hard to find anything for sale. I had an agent in the room say that she had someone call asking for, this is out on 30A, asking to find something up to a $5 million budget in a certain area. And another agent who's in the room who handles that area specifically said, I had 3 people ask me that same thing this morning. It's really difficult to stress, and I've been doing this for 19 years. It's really difficult to stress just how hard it is to find something good, and it's even harder to stress just how much demand is actually out there. So the way we're taught in real estate school to price something, and as agents, we're giving sellers advice on where to put something in pricing. We're taught in our 60 or 72 hours of class, which is not very long, we're taught to look at the last 6 months of comparable sales, average those out, and try to compare that to what we're going to sell. And somewhere in there is going to be your price. If you're doing that right now, if you're even going back 3 months, you're dealing with a market that is ancient history. But the other problem with that is as we continue to set records, we're setting really, really extreme records. We just did something this week in Calypso. On the last sale in Calypso for this unit was $460,000 closed. There's a unit on the market for $485,000 that's under contract. We're going to sort of assume that the closing price is going to be somewhere in that range. It went under contract pretty quickly. I told the sellers that the easy way to do this would be to ask $499,000, right under $400,000, and they would probably have a ton of offers very, very quickly. That would be the easy sort of traditional way, not pushing the market. I told them I had no problem trying it as high as $525 or maybe even higher. The short version of that story, under contract, full price at $525 cash before it even hit the market. I'm seeing examples of this over and over again. And I think the one thing that a lot of owners of real estate, people thinking about selling who are interviewing us as agents, either don't understand or is not well explained is that everyone is concerned about the appraisal. That unit in particular that I just told you about very likely could appraise for $460,000 to $485,000. So if $465,000 or $485,000 is going to be the appraised value, Jacob, you should be working. I'm just kidding. If $460,000 to $485,000 is going to be the appraised value, a lot of agents are hesitant to price it much higher than that because they're so concerned about what the appraised value will be. And hey, we can't price it too high because this is where the appraisals will be. That's very true if you're working with a buyer who is going to get a loan and their entire deal would be contingent on that financing. But there are 2 things that are happening over and over and over again in the market. The first thing that's happening is people who are getting loans are writing something contingent on financing, but they will put into the offer that they will waive the appraisal contingency. So they're saying, yes, we're going to use a bank, we're going to get a loan, but we don't care what the appraisal is. We will make up the difference. If something's priced at 500 or our contract's at 500 and the appraisal comes in at 450, in the old days or a couple years ago, you would be limited by what that bank is going to loan. Now the buyer's promising to pay the difference out of pocket. Some buyers are saying, hey, as long as the appraisal comes in at X. Some buyers are waiving it completely. But then there's plenty of cash buyers in the market. I heard a statistic yesterday that Florida is the #2 destination recently for U-Haul, for one-way destinations, one-way trucks. People are moving here. We're #2 behind Texas, was what I heard yesterday. I'm hearing over and over again about people coming to Florida, over and over again about seeing the kind of money people are spending in this market. And when you consistently, over and over again, are receiving 6, 8, 10 offers in a matter of days for real estate, it's clear that we can continue to push pricing and push pricing and push pricing. The last thing I'll probably say about that and is that the last time we had a hot market like this, 2004, 2005, it ended, and none of us saw the end when it was coming. And so one thing Jacob and I talk about all the time is speed is extremely, extremely, extremely important in this market. So if anyone is thinking about selling, get your marketing going. This market is extremely, extremely hot right now. We've been on fire since May of 2020, and it seems like the last 5 weeks especially, it's even ratcheted up more. Spring market is coming for traditional housing, so you think there's going to be a lot of activity March to April to May if you're selling traditional residential. Any of the vacation rental stuff is already busy. The fiscal year, so to speak, for vacation rental season starts March 1. Closings are happening, lots of offers flying around. So make sure, the one thing I'm going to stress, and you're going to see it on the emails we send, you're going to see it on the videos on YouTube, you're going to see it on the mail we send out. Make sure, unless you have an extreme need, and I shouldn't even say it that way. I was going to say, at least you have an extreme need to do something very, very quickly. This is the market to be extremely bold in. There's very little competition depending on what you're selling. If you have something that's extremely desirable, like a certain floor height in a condo or a certain location in a neighborhood, you can be that much more bold. But you have to have a strategy to be able to get from a contract. If someone agrees to pay you this astronomical price, you do have to have a strategy to be able to get from contract to closing to make sure that you're going to actually get that closed at that number. That's going to be a really important part of it. That comes down to negotiating contracts. That's what we do every day. So rant over. The market is extremely hot. Be bold with your pricing, but have a strategy for it. I see it over and over again where people are leaving too much money on the table. And we're talking about tens of thousands of dollars. I heard a story yesterday that a property went here in our market for $250,000 over the asking price. And that's from an agent who's been in the business for 20 plus years. I would argue that agent mispriced it, right? He missed it by $250,000, and he's experienced. That's how challenging this market is. That's where it almost feels like there isn't a ceiling. So make sure if you're doing this, you're talking with someone who has some creative ideas on how to release this stuff. It's not as simple as just put, hey, it's for sale for X because we're going to go 3% over the market or 5% over the market. You have to have some ideas, coming soon strategies. You have to have some really great video and photos to make as many people see it as you can. You have to be a digital marketing expert anymore right now to get your message out to as many people as you can. And then it gets pretty insane. And you're talking about a lot that can happen on pricing. But it's important to do this all very quickly, because once this turns off, it could turn off just as fast as this has come on. And so if you're thinking of selling, get it going. The time is now. The market is extremely good. Rant done. I have to shoot another video.